Hello everyone. Today we are going to see about variables in Power Automate. So what I will do, I will open my solution. So what I will do, I will go to new or click on this app, automation. Here I will click instant flow. So here I am going to give a name to my flow. I will say basic variable and I will go with this manually trigger a flow. I will hit on create button. Yes, so here we go. So now what we need to do, we will see variables in this lecture. So when you will type here variables and you click here, so the first thing that we will see is initialize a variable. Okay, so there are many options. So array, will say it later, string, decrement the variable, increment, set variable. So first of all, let me initialize a variable. Okay, so here you need to give a name to your variable, and you see you can use these data types. Either your variable can be a Boolean, integer, float, string, object, array. So what I will do, I will say this as initialize variable Boolean, and here I will say variable Boolean, and I will keep it blank. Okay, and then again I will declare my one more variable. Click on variable and I will go with initialize variable. This time I'm going to select as integer. Okay, and then I will rename this. I will say this as integer, and here I will say variable integer. Integer. Again I will click on this new. I will again define one more variable. This time I'm going to pick a string variable. Go to variable and we'll go to initialize a variable, and I will give my name as initialize variable. This time I'm going to select a string. So let me select a string from here. Float is nothing, you will have decimal, variable string. Okay, and let me save it. Okay, and let me run this flow. So initially you see I haven't declared any any values to my Boolean, integer and string variables. So we'll get so if there will be no value assigned to a Boolean variable, so the by default value will be false. Here similarly it should be 0, and here for the string we'll get null. So we'll simply test it to confirm. So I will hit on this manual button and I will click on this test button, and let me run the flow. Let me click on done. Okay, our flow runs successfully. So here you see the output value as false. Okay, and when you go to integer, you see the value is 0, and when you go to your string, you will get a null value. Okay, now one more thing I want to state, that you can only declare variable at global level. So what I mean by that, so let me click a new step. Let me add a control here, and I will select this condition, and let me give any random value here. So here when you will click on action, and here when you will try to declare a variable, okay, let me click here variable, and if you will try to initialize a variable, you will get an error. So the reason is that variables can be declared only at the global level, so you cannot nest the variables in Power Automate. So I will simply delete it. Okay, so now to assign any value inside your Boolean, you can specify value like this, simply true. Similarly, you can assign any value to integer and to string as well. So now the next thing that we will see is, now we'll play with our this integer. variable. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will click on New tab and I will go to variable, and inside my variable you see we have these many options, like either we can increment the variable, we can decrement the variable, and we can even set the any value that we want. Okay, so all these things are possible. So let's say if I want to increment, so initially you see here as we have defined the integer, so the value is 0. Now let me increment the variable. Okay, here you see I'm only getting the integer because the integer can only be incremented, right? Not a string or Boolean data types. So here now here I need to specify. So for example, here the initial value of integer, so let me put integer here, or let me put it here. So you can drag and drop. Okay, so you have simply initialize a variable. So initially the integer, this variable value is 0. Now what I will do, I will increment it by 2. Okay, and then let me again declare, go to variable, and this time I will use decrement the variable. So here also you can only choose your integer data type. And here what I will do, I will subtract this variable integer by 1. Okay, so here the variable value is 0, then here it's 2, then here again -1, so now our value becomes 1. Now I will use this set variable function here. So I will go to variable and let me use this set variable. So now I will say the value of our, and now you need to remember, like the set variable can be used with any data type because you can set any value, but whereas the increment and decrement, you can use this with integer. Okay, so now what I will do, I will simply select my integer variable only, and I will say 5 is the final value. So I will save this. So I will reiterate, say initially here, now we have defined the true value explicitly. So earlier when we keep this one as blank, so by default the value will be false. Here it will be null only. But now here we have declared our integer variable. So the value is integer variable is 0. Then here it will be increment by 2. Then we are going to decrement it by 1. So now the value will become 1. And at the end we are simply scrapping the value 1, and now new value will become 5. So we'll simply test this to check output. So I will run my flow. Let me click on done. So flow runs successfully. So let's see, now we are getting true value. And here we should have null value as usual because we haven't initialized anything. Here you see the value is 0, and then we have incremented this one by 2. So our value become 2. Then we decrement it by 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. And later on we removed this value 1 and we said like let 5 be the final value. So this is basic about integers. Now we'll see some string functions. So what I will do now, let me delete these integers, or let it be, I think let it be. Later on I can export these flows to a repos. Alright, so now we'll see about string. So let me do one thing. Let me keep a string here. Let me move the set variable here. Okay, so now currently our string have null value. So the first function that we'll see, let me define the value as hello space world. Okay, now what I will do, the first function that I want to use is, let me go to compose here. Let me define compose here. Alright, so yes, so here what I will do now, to write the expressions, we'll need to go to here expression, and here we can write out expression. So we'll use the concat function. So the expressions, they are similar to Excel functions, but not exactly. So let me show you. So what we'll do, we'll say concatenate. Okay, here we'll give our first string. So what is our first string? Our first string is this particular variable, right? Like a variable string. So let me go back here. Let me go to expression again. So we'll use concatenate here. We'll provide our first text. So our first text is this, right? Variable string. So I'll simply click on this variable string. Okay. Now when you will put comma, then you need to define your text number 2. Like what do you want to add into this particular variable? So what I will add, I will say WORLD word. So now my output should look like hello world, then again world. And let me put a space as well here. Alright, so we'll test our flow. I'll click on save and test. Click on run flow. Click on done. Here you see our flow has run successfully, and you see now the output we are getting is hello world world. I will again go back to edit window. So now we have seen the basic use of our concatenate function. So I will rename this as compose concatenate. Okay, now the next function that you should know is replace. So I will click on new tab. I will again use compose action. So the reason why I'm not changing the value, because I want to show the function separately. So now the next function that is important, as I said, it is replace function. So many times you want to change something inside your string. Okay, so now I will again go back here. I will go to expression. Here I will write replace. And now here you see, initially I need to provide a string. String means in which string I want to do modification. So I will click on dynamic content. As you know, I want to change something inside this my variable. Okay, so my variable have hello world only because I haven't changed any value. So the compose action was totally different. So put a comma here. You see, now here it is showing you old text. Okay, so which simply means so let's say, let me open notepad here. So here currently my this variable string have value hello world, right? So now what I want to do, I want to remove the world value, or I want to say that instead of world here I should have or exclamation mark. Okay, so I want to replace my world with this complete value. So for that, what I will do, I will say I want to change world to, I want to change it to world exclamation mark here. So we have created our expression. I will click on OK. I will save this and I will hit on test button. Let me say test and let me run the flow. So now when you will see the output, so you will see, okay, I think this is not working. So the issue is that you see here we have space. So let me go down. Let me click on edit button. Okay, so now you see here compose replace. Here we have said that replace this world with worlds, but here we are not able to find that particular string. So that's why I will put a space here. Okay, and Let me update this. And here what I will do, I will add one more compose action. I will go to compose. I'll click on this compose, and what I will do, I will click on this button, and from here I will get my final output, that is this one, the actual variable string. So let me test this. Save and test. Okay, flow runs successfully. So I'll go back. Or let me first of all take this new designer. Go. So let me click here. Alright, so now when you will go to your this compose replace, so you will see now this has been changed. So let me go to edit here. Let me show you. So when you go to this replace here, let me reiterate. So you first of all you need to provide your first string, in which string you want to do modification. So you want to do modification hello world. Then you see like we have provided a space here, and this should be exactly same, like W shouldn't be small, capital, like it should be whatever is available in a string. So now we have seen the use of our replace function as well. So the next function that is important for us is the name of a function is index. So what I will say, compose index of function use. So what I will do, I will go to my expression. So I will click on input. I will go to this function button so that I could write the expression. So here I can simply say index of. Then the first thing we need to provide is our variable. So we want to do modification in our variable string. Then I will put comma. Then here I need to provide, let me put comma. So here I need to provide which index I want. So for example, we have this string, right, hello world. Okay, so what I will do, I want to see if you count here, it's like 0 1 2 3 4. So we'll see what is the index of O. Okay, so we'll see that. So let me put here O. Okay, and I will simply click on add button, and I'm going to test this. So manually save and test. Let me run. Click on done. So if you see, you are getting output as 4. So why you are getting output as 4? Because we want to find out the index of O. So this is the 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index. That's why this have written the value as 4. Now instead of this, if I would have picked this as W, so we would have get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll get 6 as our output. So let me quickly click on this edit button, and we'll replace our O with our W. Similarly, you have 2 more functions. So our flow just ran. You can see we are getting output as 6. So you have few more functions as well that you can use. For example, you have a split function, you have starts with, you have 2 lower, 2 upper, like if you want to change your string to capital letters. So let me use this function as well. Let me click on edit. I will go to news tab. I will say I will use compose again. Compose, and let me go here. I will write expression. So we are going to use to upper. Here we simply need to provide a string. So how to provide the string? You go to dynamic content here and simply select your variable. So variable string. Okay, and test. So if you want to switch to new designer, you can simply click here, like new designer. Let me click here. Let me go to save and test. And we'll click on this run flow. Done. So if you go to compose this time, you see now our string is converted to upper. So you have trim function as well. So and even like there's one more function that is append to string. So let's say if inside this string, okay, hello world, you want to add something. So let me click on add and let me go to variable. So here you see append to string variable. So that will simply add. So let me click on variable string. So your string have value as hello world, and I will say hello world, and I will add value flow. So now our string will become hello world flow. So now I will add another step. I will again use compose here to check, or I think I can simply check it from output as well. So we don't need this one. So I will go and will click on my save and test button. Done. And our flow has run now. So now when you will go to output, you see this flow has been appended at the end of our string. So thank you so much for watching this video.